All right, so this is going to be my Creed 3 review. Not even a review. I don't even like that. Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm back with Irrational Thoughts. Yo, where do I begin? So it's not really going to be a review. It will be a review, but it'll just be kind of my whole, not obsession, because that's not the right word. On the Creeds, the whole franchise, you know, his deep dive of work, because I saw the movie Saturday. I really wasn't trying to go. My friend wanted to go. I wasn't opposed. I was like, you know what, might as well after work. And after seeing the movie, I knew it was going to make me fascinated with, you know, his concept, Michael B. Jordan, of his directorial debut, how we got to where we were. I am an artist as well. I grew up dancing and acting, and a very big part of my acting training was, you know, directing. And we had to learn how to direct the scene, blocking, transitions, you know, beat changes, stuff you know if you know, you know. But I put that hat on, I didn't even mean to. So I see the movie. I'm like, all right, let me start looking up about this process. So I'm watching all these interviews about him. I'm watching his documentary. I'm watching his interviews about his directing process. And I'm just kind of like, okay, you know, I'm hearing what he's saying. He's like, you know, I've been on set for all 3 Creeds, so it just makes sense that I direct this one. So I'm like doing research. And I'm like, who directed the other ones? So I'm like, oh, it was Ryan Coogler. If you know, you know. Ryan Coogler's a beast. These are all very successful young artists that are just getting to it, and they know life is not a joke, and you got to do what you do if you love it to the fullest of your potential. So Ryan Coogler and Michael B. have a really good relationship all the way back to Fruitvale Station. And just a little bit about Michael. He's been acting his whole life. I mean, before The Wire, he was like a model at a very young age doing like commercial and print work, to where he was in soap operas, and he got a spot on The Wire, and you know, it led all the way to Fruitvale, which is why I feel like indie films are the way to go. You want to get your foot in the door as an actor, you better couple up with a real inspiring director, see their vision, and you guys have a great duo, because I think they're the great example of, you know, what it's like when you just meet 2 budding artists and they make beautiful music together, because Ryan is doing his thing. Ryan Coogler, Fruitvale Station, Judas and the Black Messiah, both Black Panthers, all 3 Creeds. He co-produced on the last Creed and assisted Michael a little bit with just some perspectives and some advice and some words on things. And, you know, anything Ryan touched, we already know how that's going to go. So why not bring on your second in command actor who will always show up for work? And I don't think it matters whatever you do. If you and somebody else you meet that's in your art, in your profession, takes it serious, you're going to keep that rapport, because you're not going to put my job on the line. I'm not going to put your job on the line. And guess what? We love what we do, that it doesn't feel like work. So why, I don't want to say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but Michael always shows up for Ryan. So Ryan's going to keep blessing Michael with the opportunities. If Michael always comes up and performs and shows out, you best believe you're going to be on my next project. So all that being said, I do my research. I'm like, oh, Ryan did the other 2 Creeds. So Michael's talking about his process, and he's like, you know, I went to go speak with like Bradley Cooper and Denzel and all these other actors that turned directors, because he mentioned that the process on set is just completely different and rigorous and, you know, demanding, when you have to, one, be in charge of the whole set of crew, but then also in the next breath be in the scene and be there for your scene partner and be in the moment and have intent and give them something to work off. And, you know, it was really fascinating to hear his process. And I think some of his directorial debut choices, I feel like they were different, so I'll always give him the benefit of the doubt for that. I think that it just made sense on a commercial end. You know, Michael B's biggest success has been Creed. Everyone thinks he's fine as hell now because of the franchise. You know, most of his questions are always, what's your workout regimen? What do you eat? sexiest man alive, all that stuff. You get ripped, you get buff. And he mentioned in a few interviews I watched, when you love what you want to do and you have to show up on set and perform, you do the work, as in you beef up and you work out. If I have to play a boxer and I need to be physically fit till it hurts, guess what I'm going to do? Be physically fit till it hurts. Because guess what? I could go work a regular job. Nothing's against the regular job, people. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with it. But you go work a regular job. And he doesn't want one, and I don't blame him. He wants to do art, do what he loves, and push. So he gets super buff. But all that being said, I think that his team, I think his PR, his agents, his management, I think he has a great team behind him, because for them to even work out a deal, of course he saved his money and did what he had to do and prioritize, but to work out a deal where you can say, yo, I want to buy the rights to direct this last movie. I meant, one, we live in a world where sequels and trequels don't even really go that far anymore. Once a movie has one, it's kind of over. A second one kind of might be a big deal, but it might end there. For it to be a third, he has to be the face of the franchise. That's what I believe. I feel like the best thing they can do is put him in the forefront, have him direct it. People are going to be interested because it's his directorial debut. He's also the face of Creed, and he's fine, and people want to see more shirtless him. So all those things put together creates this, triple trifecta of a box office hit. So I think that with all the help and resources and Ryan Coogler and him being on it as well and reaching out to Denzel and, Michael B. Jordan's first debut is not, I don't want to say he's not playing fair, because that's not right to him. He did play fair. It's just, it's on a different catalyst. Your debut to be already at a big deal, which happens for most actors that decide to take that route after they have success and whatever in their career. I think there were some choices he took that were definitely him, and they were different. Like, I'm not going to spoil, but there's a funeral scene. I'm not going to say how that goes. Sorry, spoiler alert. Where the camera does this 360 pan from like at a low angle. And I was like, Mike, was that really it? Like, I thought it was cool. I just think some of his choices were to be different. And I love that. But I think some of it just drove from I wanting to be different and not really understanding why the angle was there and what the story was supposed to tell. I understand when you zoom in, there's a higher stake and intensity behind the stakes in the scene. So I don't discredit any of that in it, but some of the angles were kind of pointless. What else did I really feel like happened? I think I love his work ethic. Like, yeah, he's attractive or whatever, but, just going on my very deep dive saga of just hearing him explain and what it took and who he had to be, and time management he kept mentioning was a big thing. And it's so funny to hear him mention time management, but the world we live in now, for him to be watching over a big movie, and then directing it and then being in it, for him to say time management when people go to work and come back home and have kids, and that's their biggest time management. So, you just got to figure out priority, and it doesn't matter where you are and who you are in life. You have to figure out how to make time for all the things you love and do it at the right pace. That was something he mentioned as well in an interview that really touched me. He mentioned that, when you're doing what you love and it's priority and what comes first, you make sacrifices. Again, people are obsessed with how he looks. He said, I don't party. I'm sure he don't. He said, I don't party, I only come outside when need be. And guess what? I go right back in the crib. After the award show, after the gala, after the press conference, I go home. I don't party, I don't hang out. He says he binges a little with the food, but he prioritizes. If you're really getting to what you love and what you need to do in life, you need to prioritize your time. We live in this world where people feel like you have to go outside, you have to be seen. If that's a part of your brand, go for it. But you could really make noise and only come outside when you need to be, because guess what? The people we're all watching on the big screen, we can never see them if it's not on the big screen. Zendaya is another one, I have a really good classmate I went to school with. I'm very, very proud of her. And, she's doing amazing and she's a very big movie star right now. And she was one of the most dedicated people I know to her craft. You don't need to be outside. Zendaya not outside. She go to the show and go Vanity Fair, Oscar party, after party, and go home. Michael B, go home. It's all right to go home. He mentions also about the little girl that played Amira, or Amara. I think her name was Amara. The deaf sweetheart. And that's another thing I feel like. I sighed because I love what they did. That's not anything wrong with that. He's genius. The demographic is great. He brings in ASL and, has a little girl feel included on set. I'm so happy for her that she feels comfortable in knowing that she can actually have a career at 10 and not feel like, oh, just because I'm missing that I can hear that my life is limitless or limited. Like, no, she can do anything she puts her mind to. It just killed me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be the one, and I didn't want to take it there. The kid was cute. I ain't never gonna knock that. The kid was cute, and she could act her stinking little butt off. Okay, I grew up in child acting. Was I in anything like that? No, but I was privileged enough to have the opportunity to train at the level to where you want to get a Disney Channel or you want to get a Nickelodeon or, to get on a Netflix show, things these kids want now. And her acting was exceptional. She was a go-getter. And he said that in one of his interviews. She came, I think it was at the Sherry Shepherd show. He mentioned why he picked her or whatever. And he was just like, her intent is crazy. She's fearless. She's such a warm heart. I loved her expressions. She told the story. Great little girl. I ain't never gonna knock the little girl for that. It's the racially ambiguous thing. Like, of course she was not white. And of course she was of some descent of color. But we can check off mixed interracial box for her. And there's nothing wrong with that. But she came from a black man and a light-skinned black woman. So we can give her racially ambiguous because we'll sit there and play Tessa Thompson's character. I can't remember her name. The girl, Bianca. We could play that Bianca. We'll give her that. We'll play the card that Bianca is mixed. I'll even give her that. But you're telling me she wouldn't just be a quarter white? Because think about it. If your daddy is fully black and your mommy is half black, wouldn't that make you 3/4? That one little bit. So we'll give you could be a racially ambiguous kid, but she was a brown child. I will give her that. She had some tan to her, but it was just clear as day attributes of the little girl that was definitely giving. She was not fully black. And yes, again, she was a child of color. I'm never going to discredit that, and I'm never going to discredit the kid's talent. It's just, I feel like, and I wasn't in the room, I don't know. I feel like there had to have been a child who had a fro in there, and she was killing it with the sign language. I'm a very big advocate of like, okay, come on, like, I feel like, and I'm not knocking it. I love the way we're going, but I feel like we live in this world where, love on who you want to love on. Let's make racially ambiguous children because that shouldn't matter. Let's get to the place where in 10 to 20 years, all the races are kind of like muddled together and everyone's this interesting shade of I don't know what. But I just feel like interracial is a cop-out when you don't want black, but you want close to black. And I just kind of felt a little cheated by that, watching the little girl be not fully black. And your daddy is the heavyweight super mega star boxer that he is. And you're not fully what he is. So I was a little bummed by that. But other than that, the kid did great. I think everyone did great. I was fascinated to his process. And I watched the other two creeds like yesterday, the day before. Again, they're all cool. I just think it's great to be on a franchise and for them to get off what they need to get off. I think overall I like the second one the most. Just because I feel like there was more depth to the storyline. I don't want to ruin it for people because I was about to just give all of it away. Like, this happened, that happened, they went there, he went through this, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the second one overall had the most story in it. Jonathan Majors, I get it. Jonathan Majors screams Yale. I just want to say that. Like, I keep going back to my reference of my childhood and where I went to school, but I went to school with people that are literally Jonathan Majors. Like, I mean, he's just such a different spirit, and he embodies the characters. Like, he's not just saying the lines, you know? He's figuring out the character development. He's figuring it out. His as-ifs, his literal happenings, his intentions behind it, you know? Like, he's doing the research, and you can feel it when he acts. Like, I mean, Sherry Shepherd said it. She was like, you know, Jonathan, your character, I had so much empathy for him because you just built this amazing world for us to be allowed to embark on with him, that, like, he was such a bad person, but you couldn't hate to love him because you just understood what he went through, just being totally transparent. And he was just in the moment, and I think it was great. I think it was really, really, really good. I think he slayed. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, thanks for tuning in to another Irrational Thoughts. And yeah, see you in the next one.